Today, we get our old Eagle Foundry Cookstove in working order as we prepare to build ourselves an outdoor kitchen. This is Desert Homestead Prepping. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. We look forward to sharing our new project with you. So this cookstove, I think as I showed you before, we have some issues with the cold air intake. This is cast right here, and it actually mounts inside here, and this part would stick out the side. What it looks like is somebody had tipped it on its side, put all the pressure from the weight of this on this one point, and it busted. So I made another piece, and it still needs a little touching up. I got to grind down the edges to fit in the slot where it would be mounted. And I'll show you guys the other challenging issue that we're dealing with. All right, so you come back here. This right here is where, you know, where the stove pipe would hook on, and it should have like a flange piece that would adapt to a 6-inch stove pipe, and we do not have that. People we got it from they don't know where it's at, and if you look at it, it is a very strange shape. So I came up with an idea of what I'm gonna do. So the plan is, I got a piece of plate. You know, the neighbor actually cut it off of a piece of diamond plate, and it's, you know, it's not perfectly straight, but you know what, it's gonna cover the edges, and we'll clean up some of these sharp edges. And I'm gonna take this 6-inch pipe, and I'm gonna cut it down a little bit so it doesn't stick out too far, and we're just gonna cut a hole for it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and weld this sucker right onto here. That's what I got to do on this today. And this is important because I don't need to be out on the property trying to work on stuff like this. I got lots of resources here in town, and so as I work on things, if I find something that's not working out and I need to go to the hardware store and get something, it's very easy. I only have limited supplies out there at the property. Then after we get all that taken care of, we can load this up on the trailer and get it ready to go out to the property. Another project that we got to do that I figured Gabe could be working on while I'm working on the wood burning cook stove is his longboard. So he had an accident with his longboard. You want to tell them what you had happen?
So I was getting off work, and I was right in front of the main street, and I slipped, and it went straight in the middle of the road and got hit by a car.
Yeah. So that's kind of rough. What'd the car do?
They just kept going.
They just kept driving on.
Yeah.
They probably never even noticed. I mean, the way people drive now, they have no idea what's going on. So I don't know if we're gonna really be able to get it fixed perfectly. I think we can come up with some kind of plate or something that can bond this back together and bolt it down, and then put these trucks back on. We got a few ideas, and hopefully we can get it fixed. I mean, it was a pretty expensive longboard that he paid for himself. You remember how much this was?
80.
It's like 80 bucks. So it's kind of worth it to try to fix it. I mean, it'll never be exactly the same, but you know, like I told him, it kind of gives it character, you know, when something has been trashed and you're able to fix it and make it usable again.
Yeah.
Kind of kind of puts your own personal touch on it. All right, well, let's look around and see. So I'll give you guys a quick rundown on how this wood burning cook stove oven works. It's pretty cool, and it shouldn't really take too big of a fire to be able to use it. And so, you know, of course, right here is the oven, just like, you know, any conventional oven that you might have. And in here, this is where you would actually load the firewood, and this is where the fire is actually burning. So there's another piece that can block this off, and you can load it from the top if you want, or you keep that out and load it from the side here. These units here, where you can turn the ashes and coals out into this catch drawer. And so, as you saw, this is your damper or dampener, whatever you call it. And so it goes in right here, and that's where the fresh air comes in to supply the fire with air. And so then you control how large the fire is with the dampener. And so it comes with this little nifty tool here for these cook plates. And so this is actually I don't know, I guess you'd call it a backsplash. And so that mounts just on the back, just like that. And set that off to the side. So you got the cooktop. Now what this does is this actually directs the heat where you would like it to go. So right now it's open, so the heat from that fire would actually go right across this cooktop and right out the back through the exhaust. But if you actually shut this lever, then it forces the heat to actually go underneath the oven and forces it out the back, the same area where it goes out the exhaust out the back. So it's pretty neat, and I'm sure that we would have to figure out, you know, all the temperamental issues that it may have. It's not sealed on the top. I mean, there's all kinds of cracks and crevices where these plates come up and everything like that. So I don't know if it would leak smoke out of it. I mean, I guess if you didn't have it burning right, it would leak smoke all out of it. So it may not be the best thing to have inside of your living structure. It's probably exactly perfect for our outdoor kitchen. So this thing's pretty old. I tried to look for parts for it, and I can't find parts for this. I can find remanufactured parts for all different brands of these wood burning cook stoves, but not this one. So it's not one of the main brands, or it's older than we think. But yeah, this is something that was common back in the 1800s, and even all the way up into you know, the 1900s. Talking to my stepdad, and he said that his parents had something like this, and it was common for people to cook on something like this all the time. So it's pretty old technology, but it's proven technology, and I think it's going to work really well for us. So we'll get going on some of the projects that we need to do to make sure that it's in really good working order. Right. I think some sidewalk chalk is probably going to do just fine for it. Or this nice sharp piece. Like this. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Now comes the loud part. So this piece I'm going to actually cut down to right about here. First, let's cut this. In here, I don't really care so much about if that's perfect. It was the diamond parts that were sticking up were really keeping me from getting this flat. So we'll get the welder out and we'll get going on it. All right, we tackled this and we got it fixed. What do you think?
I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I thought it would look worse. But, and now, so it's a lot stronger. I can tell.
Yeah.
When I was standing on it.
I think it's going to work really well. What we did was we took one of these mounting brackets that are used for they're used for securing like your oven or your appliances against the wall so that toddlers can't actually pull it down on themselves. So those are the brackets that we took, and we actually just, you know, found that it actually fit right over his trucks perfectly. And we just cut off the angle piece and smashed it flat, and we were able to slide them right in there to cover this crack. And then we bolted it down in a couple different spots. See, this is why I keep all kinds of stuff. You guys can call it hoarding or whatever you want to call it, but you know, I keep random things all the time. Never know when I'm going to use it or what I'm going to use it for. But there we go. It's a fix, and like you said, doesn't look too terrible. I think it looks pretty good. Nice. This is what we came up with, and it's not the most fancy piece of work. Yeah, the challenge is this plate is pretty thick, but then of course the stovepipe is super thin. So trying to figure out exactly how hot I need it is challenging, because I need penetration into the plate, but if I get penetration into the plate, then I blow holes in the side of this. So I had to kind of compromise, and you know, we'll see how it holds up. All right. I'm going to clean up these edges a little bit so they're not stick out. Alright, that's pretty much it right there. I think it looks really good. Now the next part is I gotta get this thing all cleaned up. So it looks like this edge right here needs to be beveled. So I'll show you where this goes. So you come in here. This is the ash drawer, and I don't know if you guys can see with all the sun, but this is the place where it goes. So here's the old one, fitted just like that, and it can slide back and forth. And you can see how it sticks out on this side, so you have to slide it. So that. Now this one just doesn't quite fit. Just needs the edges beveled a little bit. So we will work on that. Goes. It looks like it fits, if you can see in there. I don't know how well you can see, but it mounts on with these little screws, and it's actually threaded into the wall, and these screws have broke off right in the holes. So I can't imagine how I'm going to get in there to get those out and re-tap it. So I think I got a fix. What I'm going to do is set it up to hold it from the outside. And what I'm going to do is drill a hole and use an R key that's going to keep pressure against the side of this. And sure, it's probably gonna scratch this up over time, but you know what, it's just got to be functional, and that should hold it and keep it snug. There we go. There we go. That works. Okay, we finally got this cook stove all set. Now we just got to load it up in the trailer, and we'll take it out to the property. But yeah, so I'm very excited to have this all done and all set, and we'll be able to put it to good use. I mean, I just think about the history of this cook stove, and you know what it's probably gone through over its whole life, and you know, hopefully it's going to last for a good long time for us. I mean, I can't imagine why it wouldn't, and you know, it's going to be really great. So no reason for you guys to stick around for me to clean up my whole mess. I guess that's it for now. I'm going to get the trailer all loaded up, and we'll make a trip out to the property, drop off all the supplies and everything that we can, and check in on how everything's growing, and you know, just make sure everything's in good order. You know, just make sure to share these videos, and hopefully, you know, some of the ideas that I've came up with could be helpful to somebody else. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in, and you guys all take care. God bless.